Warning, this podcast contains material not suitable for younger audiences, and some material that's not suitable for older audiences. If you're part of any age group, we've found a way to offend you. Run while you still can. We are the hapless heroes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and I am one of the hosts, the DMs, the editor, the person who, helps bring this show to you.
Tutor of his own horn.
However, I could not. If you would let me finish,
World's greatest human,
visionary, enlightened creator.
This is already going so much better.
If you guys let me finish what I was going to say, I couldn't do any of this if it weren't for my amazing friends who are sitting around the table with me here tonight.
Oh, thanks for tooting our horn. Yeah.
So
that was obligatory.
I've already introduced myself.
Glad you got around to
why
that,
don't we
Fran.
just go around, open format, because we're about to recap a whole shitload of episodes for you. And let's just introduce ourselves. To my left, we got Mike.
And I play Quinn, Captain Lord Quinn Southwind.
Is it Lord Captain or Captain
Lord Captain.
Make
It doesn't
everybody
matter
mad.
as long as you have both.
It depends on which side of the flask he's drinking.
Right.
Yes.
And am I on the ship or am I on the land? Yeah.
First of his name.
There's a lot
benevolent.
going on.
Right.
First of my name, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Just introduce yourself. I figure I'm done hosting.
Hi, I'm James. I play Hoblet. I like to smash things. You all listen to me smash things. I fucking
It's
appreciate
kind of
it.
weird.
Don't be so
It is.
assumptive. There's somebody
Is
out
it
there
weird that he's
that's
not in
not so
Smasher
fast.
voice?
There might be one person that's just like, I just can't stand Hoplin.
There probably are. There's Hoblet
Least
haters.
favorite character.
I doubt that's insane.
yeah,
I feel like there's a resound like you probably
either
have
love
to
him or
think
you
of it,
hate him.
yeah.
But it's Hoblet. It's not
I don't
James.
know if anyone
James,
hates him.
James is a wonderful man.
Hoblet has been the clear Fonzie for dozens
The
and
whole
dozens of
yeah,
episodes.
Should we have a Hokov elections? Who's a popularity contest? Most favorite fan?
Put it on the poll.
I am gonna lose that so
Yeah. Do we
quickly.
really? Do we really want to know? Do we really? I don't think I do.
Don't even put me on the ballot.
It's probably Quinn.
It's gonna end up being Felix somehow.
Right?
Rigged.
Truth be said, I don't even like Quinn, but
Really? I love Quinn.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Quinn. Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah,
Hoblet
he's okay.
definitely missed
Let's keep
Quinn.
going around the table. We haven't introduced
Yeah.
everybody.
Anyway, my name's Dave, and I write bullshit stories for the internet. And as part of that, I occasionally play a character named Zero, and my personal Marty Stew, Arion Black / Lord Reaper / Roy Vermillion / several other names that haven't come up or disappeared already, and
Yep.
yeah, that's a thing.
And then it's me, John. I play Lord Jarrell the Light and Hondo the Merciless.
And you were most recently a DM.
Right, and Dr. Dedoo.
Oh, yeah, and
Dr.
can't
Dedoo.
forget
He's
Dr. Dedoo.
Classic.
Probably actually one of my favorite little one-time characters.
Oh
you've
my!
ever
I
done.
go back to and listen to that one pretty often. Just
Yeah,
that was
it's
fun.
fantastic.
That was a fun
And,
episode.
I guess speaking of the yin to your gang, right? I mean,
And yeah. Sorry.
You had 10 minutes to get ready.
Sorry, I got a little frog in my throat.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And I
oh, then it's all staying in now. It's all staying in.
I play Paradil, and I have also played Melvin and Spike and Pregnant.
see, I saw what he did there.
Is there anybody else? Who else did I play?
Oh, you?
feel like there's
No, I
more.
think.
Oh yeah. And Spanx Mahoney.
Oh, Spanx, how no one misses you.
Benton wants to kill you.
That's insulting, and I like it.
And I mean, finally, a man who needs no introduction.
My name is Massimo, and I'm an alcoholic.
Wrong circle.
I'm just kidding. I was invited to join this podcast actually pretty recently, and it's been pretty great. I've played Morton Mack, the gorgeous Mort,
The
who
weirdest character I've ever encountered.
just
in my life.
I
to
mean-
be honest with you,
Is he the weirdest out of all of Moe's?
no, there's I've
Actually, no.
not
No,
even
not at all.
close. He's the most normal out of all
Yeah.
of Massimo's
That's-
characters.
There was Flareon the Barbarian.
Licks door handles.
Yep. Flavored door handles.
I mean,
Not
you,
just
didn't,
any
you didn't
door
know
handle.
they were flavored. They aren't just all flavored. You put that in your mouth first and found out it was
Well,
flavored.
how do you know?
Yeah, well, after the first one, I was hooked. And then I've also
Melvin for
played Chubbs,
Oh, yeah.
the grizzled war veteran.
I vote him for weirdest.
Yeah. Actually, that was probably one of my favorite characters.
and then
ever.
the young kid, Biff, who was also pretty great.
So, yeah, we figured, it's been, I don't know, like 60 some odd episodes since we actually recapped this
2
show
years.
last. Yeah, we have we can do a little bit of the, what's like how this all started too. But I mean, like really, we've been doing this for more than 100 episodes now, and it's like I think we should probably give people a good point to just kind of jump in,
This is our gift to newcomers.
right?
You
As
don't
well
have to
as
wade
just
through
like
a lot of episodes. Well, wade through them. They're
Yeah.
very entertaining.
If you
All
were
that
yes.
bullshit we recorded up till now.
Right.
Fuck it.
right.
If you weren't completely freaked out by like this point in this episode, then go back and listen to the rest of it. You'll probably like it.
Right. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, first of all, I'm very thankful. I mean, we've done, been doing this for 2 years, but there's a lot that we've done over the course of 2 years. So I figured,
In the
in the beginning. Okay. Anyways, in the beginning,
2 of us got married.
Yeah.
3 of us probably by the end of this airing.
right. So, actually, I was sorry. There was one thing I wanted to say.
Kid?
For our people who have been listening for a long time, this is kind of just an opportunity for you to kind of just sit around the table with us and catch up, I guess.
Yeah. Remember back when?
Yeah, remember back when? So
There
speaking
was
of
a time.
So back when, I guess, like, I mean, one of the first things that happened, like, you guys got together as a party, you were trying to figure things out. We were trying to figure things out as a podcast. But eventually a story unraveled of intrigue and mystery, and there was a missing kid who all of a sudden returns, like, aged 10 years after 6 months after disappearing into a portal with a strange box-shaped Modron. All the while, you guys are, like, scouring the continent. Like, all of us have been scouring the continent for these gems.
Yeah, I think that's where we should really start the recap is
Right.
Basically what's mostly been going on for the past 70 episodes or so is we've been on the hunt for these gems, which started back in the Sinister Sanctuary episodes.
Right, which is actually where Ezra went missing.
Right.
Which was our clever way of explaining.
Ezra.
Yeah, our clever way of explaining Joe's absence, who actually just hung out with Joe on Saturday. Friday, because he owed me a pizza.
What kind of pizza did you get?
I got pepperoni and mushroom.
That's always my play.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big fan of the onion and jalapeno myself.
Yeah.
Hot take. I like olives on my pizza. No one. People
I
think
like
that's
olives.
weird,
No.
apparently.
I like olives.
They're
But anyways, I was chatting with Joe as
We don't want to talk about pizza anymore?
I
Oh,
wanna-
no, we have... Oh, right, we're doing this for our podcast.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This isn't just like a pizza chat session. We'll take that to Discord. We can
Yeah,
talk
tune
all
into
about
the
how much we
Discord
love
for the
pizza.
pizza chat.
But anyways, and he's just been working a lot, so obviously he can't. He hasn't really been able to join us at the table. But we were able to bring in John.
Yeah.
And
Episode 30.
yeah, and even when Mike was out for a bit, we brought Massimo in, and then screw it. Now we're all here, and I had to expand my table because there's so many of us now. But this is it.
Square now.
This is it. We're not
This is
increasing
as
the
big as it
party
gets.
beyond this.
Yeah.
7 is madness.
Yeah. We've done. We did 8 for a while, didn't we?
Yeah, and our first campaign ever, I did 8 people. I was DM'd for 8 people.
We can barely handle 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like our, like
Yeah,
where
it
I
was-
met,
yeah,
Dave and
yeah, it
Mike.
was,
But so
was so many.
we've been kind of crafting this story, and Dave and I have sort of somehow over the course of this whole time managed to not spoil anything for one another while writing stories based on where the other person left off. It has been one of the most crazy creative exercises ever. And we've also even gotten some of you guys to start DMing too and writing little offshoots of the story, because all of these we're going to tie all of these back together.
Yeah.
We've already tied some together.
Yeah, that full play arc is completely tied in. Like,
Right.
like there's no more place for that story to go. It fully resolved. All of Chekhov's guns were fired.
Fully
Right.
resolved. There is still one Hondo sickle sitting somewhere that I hope we will go back to at some point.
Yeah, we might revisit where Hondo is in the Shadowfell with his newfound immortality.
Just John's favorite character.
Yeah, so
Right.
the full play
It's
the full
like-
play episodes were interesting because that was like a little time dilation, time travel kind of thing where it was foreshadowing the fact that the mayor of Tarantus actually died before we saw him.
Before our party met him,
yeah.
before the grand coronation where he was revealed to be actually Vecna. So,
Right.
and that's the thing. But these gems we've been searching for, all of this has been leading up to this because everything that we've noticed about these gems we've been searching for has something to do with necromancy, but we can't seem to figure it out because all they really have been doing so far is just like, we have an orb, and if you look into that orb, you can see and scry through the gems wherever they are, wherever they lay.
Our assumption was that they were used for spying.
Right. I mean, it appeared to be so.
We never really, still don't know.
Yeah,
Right,
we
so-
don't know who this orb belongs to. We don't know this, but it all seems to tie back to some evil shit.
Yeah, like in the Sinister Sanctuary, we met this crazy necromancer.
Yep.
We killed him there,
By met,
I
you
think.
mean fought and
Oh yeah,
murdered?
yeah. You murdered him dead. There's been a lot of like wanton murder, granted, of bad people.
And he gave us
but-
some really foreboding warning,
Mm-hmm.
and that set us off on
Right.
this like gem search.
Right, and you also know, like in the background of all this, right, in the backdrop, there's always been this overarching sort of looming threat of like the Crucible lands and the ruins of Wool and this whole foul upheaval that happened 160 years ago that decimated like the entire center portion of the continent you all live on.
Which that looks like a tea party compared to what just happened.
No. What actually just happened is still a tea party compared to what happened in Ool.
It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
different kinds of severity. I mean, one blew up an entire country's worth of stuff with this lingering, long-lasting crap.
Right.
What happened in Tarantus could potentially be worse and on a larger scale. That hasn't happened yet. Right now,
It's just
you've lost a city, you've lost magic.
How do you lose a city?
Well,
well, I mean, yeah, you think you might have lost magic, and that's kind of where we're going to end up picking things up. Is like, we've kind of explained like the city of Tarantus is this gigantic, super technologically and magically advanced city for the time period that you guys are in, and it sported this like massive sort of beam of energy of just like pure magic, called a ley line that was one of the few remaining, really the only other one remaining after the destruction of Ool. No one's really been close enough to Ul to know what happened to the one that was there, because the whole thing that you know about the foul upheaval is that it was some sort of like convergence that happened to begin with, some sort of ritual that like messed up magic a lot, but thankfully you guys still had Tarantus. Well, that's gone now. So shit's about to get real serious because like it's just been, cataclysmic event after cataclysmic event. You guys fought back like a sort of massive invasion of undead from these Crucible lands in the city of Lastwall. You had to utilize like this amazingly powerful like portent you had to go searching in the Crucible lands for, when Phil actually was a guest star with us for a couple episodes. Hedrick the Entertainer, who is missing, and we don't know if he's dead.
Well, we kind of left him.
Yeah, but then you came back and his body wasn't there.
That's true, but it's probably because something ate him.
So we got a little dot on
There
that
can only
story.
be one bard.
Most likely he got like eaten by something.
You never know.
We just left him in a dark lair. Like we just really, thanks for helping out.
Yeah, you guys
and
are
then-
really good at actually leaving people to die places.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
true.
it's kind of our thing.
we left him alone, unable to move, and without light in a place where people regularly get got.
Yeah,
Right.
For like
So,
5 minutes.
Sorry, Phil. I mean, it was more than
And
5
then he
minutes.
was
We did a
gone.
whole bunch of shit.
All we did was walk out the door and see one paradiddle farting his way towards us via Fletcher rocket or whatever the hell we called that.
Oh man, I
Right.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, that's how we decided to introduce your character back when
Yeah,
you
that was
when you
fun.
came back. I was like, how do we get him to travel several miles like really quickly? Oh yeah.
Oh, I know. Farting.
An ass-propelled rocket. Let's
Was
do it.
that because he? Okay.
He was gone for a while because he had the hernia.
Right,
Okay.
but that hernia
quotes.
turned out to be gas.
Correct.
That
And
propelled the
and
rocket.
so the gas was used instead to propel the rocket instead of just being wasted.
Of course.
No wasted gas in this.
High class entertainment all around.
I
Yeah,
thought
this
it
is
Real highbrow shit.
yeah, real highbrow shit because we're super like we're adults.
Pinkies out, bitches.
And so like you've had all these things happen. I was a part of some of it as Felix, and other times it was Zero wandering you the guys while I was telling the story. We've done this sort of back and forth for a while. We've even done like a couple of visits to the interns you guys have. That's some of the other characters we mentioned, like Spanx, Mahoney, and
yeah, everyone's favorite.
everyone's Frankie Wild. Things that people. Those
Except for Stenton.
yeah, Stenton's pretty stand up dude.
Well,
Stenton's
but he doesn't
pretty
like
great.
Any of them because none of them do any work for him.
Right, you're the only one actually working.
Frankie Wilde is everybody's favorite except for Stenton.
Yeah, so it's just like we got very
To
creative.
recap, Stenton hates Frankie.
Stenton tolerates Frankie.
Right. When
Yeah.
you can get him to do some work.
Full recap, end of recap.
It's just
that
like
gives you the
it's-
whole story.
It's like the lazy roommate you
Thank
can't
you.
get rid of who thinks he can still be a rock star. Yeah.
But he does dishes like once a month, so you're like, oh, I was just gonna yell at him, but then he did them, so
I did the dishes, and they are fabulously clean.
So it's just like, among these things that happen, like I see, there seems to be like one central theme, and that's like this sort of like the undead and magic, and we've also sort of introduced the concept of like even a larger, like bigger picture thing that the gods themselves are fighting a dark force, and like this whole concept of like the undead, and also like even like the gods like dying, and like this sort of battle between like sort of the like Vecna and the forces of like the like darkness, and like you have like the Raven Queen and Valen and some of like the like the dwarven like pantheon, in Moradin and Coralon and Pelor, and like this whole like Dawn War pantheon seems to be
Yeah.
sort of trying to fight the Vecna rising to power.
Because one day we may or may not have decided in a secret channel in Discord that we had too many gods.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of gods.
Yeah.
Too many gods.
That may or may not have been one of the larger plot points that we discussed without necessarily mentioning how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Just a little peek under the hood of how we do some writing is that, hey, this is kind of the direction I was trying to take it, but I don't really want to say much more than that. All right, yeah, cool. Let's see what happens. And then sometimes it goes exactly according to plan, and other times there is absolutely no plan, and we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. That's like 80% of the time.
Yeah, we don't help with that by getting immediately off the rails
Yeah.
almost from the get-go
But
of
those
every
have produced
episode.
some wonderful moments and that we will cherish forever in our forever canon.
Yeah. And then when we do come up with things, we endlessly rewrite them anyway.
True. Such is life.
Yeah.
So maybe it's probably best if we kind of just to bring everyone up to speed at this point now, discuss how we've received or how we've come into the possession of all of the gems and, where things might be going from here. So the first gem I think we discussed, we already kind of mentioned, the Sinister Sanctuary. That's where we lost Joe. We lost Ezra.
Yeah.
He's not dead. He just disappeared.
Yeah.
By touching a gem and just kind of.
Some people just
disappearing.
disappear in this universe.
Right.
It happens all the time, apparently.
You never know when it's going to happen to you.
Then we get over it really quick.
And Sinister
pissing off
Sanctuary is where we got the orb and gem number 1.
Yes, the orb too that allows you to scry. And actually, that's how you were able to locate the other ones because you were looking through the orb and
Right.
being able to see each location roughly. I mean, some of them were harder to guess than others, which is our clever way of just kind of guiding you in one direction or another. Just kidding. We don't do that.
And that was the place with all like the levers and we had to like.
Yeah, there were like
Right?
runes and
The troll tunnels?
Yes, and like the ruins on the wall. The levers were actually the hapless the anti-heroes with the lava like boss room that I made, the slag and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
And so in the
that was
sanctuary,
woven.
that was actually like our first glimpse into the crazy Crucible lands. too.
Yes, you guys actually peeked your head in there for a second because there seemed to be some sort of portal down there that you guys poked your heads out.
Yeah.
And there's these these
Yeah,
Titan
it's where we introduced the Grave Titans.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Titan mamas, as I like to think of them.
Yeah.
Because they were just birthing undead
Literally
demons all over the place.
really grabbing them in from the handful out of their like open, like rotting stomachs and throwing them
Gross.
into the distance.
Oh, it's too much.
Truly horrifying stuff, folks.
Yeah.
But so you brought this to Kip, and she provided you with one, Lord Jarrell the Light.
Yes, Captain Kip, an old friend from the early days, and by old friend I mean you guys share a mutual secret, and you guys did kind of help her out with a big thing, but also stole Arion Black. It was a whole big thing. You should listen to the first recap.
Hey, James. James, what are your notes on Captain Kip again?
Kill
Kill Kip.
Question mark?
Yeah, just because he had literally just
I
showed
knew it from the beginning.
Right.
We never should have done business with that dirty bitch.
But at the same time, she's hooked you up. She's the reason you have the keep. She's the reason that
yeah, but we would have gotten the keep independent of Kip.
I don't think
dirty
so.
lady.
I really don't think
No.
so. I think we should give credit where credit's due.
Fine.
Yeah,
There
so
are-
he's giving bias where
Hoblet
he feels
never
it's due.
liked Kip.
there are
Still
people
does.
pulling the strings, and there are the people who are being pulled.
Right.
I'm going to let you guess which one of those people Hoblet was at the time.
If I can see my strings, I don't like it.
She
Yeah.
also provided you with Jarrell, his retainers, and all the interns.
Jarrell.
Apparently free of charge.
Right, Jarrell, finally a fucking lawful good voice in this party of chaotic
Psychopaths.
somethings.
In parentheses,
So
website.
wait. We're saying no. I find it more annoying voice.
And so, speaking of Kip, after we parted ways with her, we got a ship.
Yeah, Sir Ships a lot. Although I will say that,
Nice segue.
Well, I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
my ship.
I will say that since then, even though we named it Sir Ships a lot, like way later, we've gotten so many good suggestions for ship names.
Yeah.
And
Didn't you get the ship before from the...
Yes, but they didn't receive it until
Correct.
after.
Because they had to clean the shit out of the...
There was a lot of shit to clean.
Yes, the bilge. Yeah, we kind of held off on getting in that boat for a while because it was gross. Because we did hijack it from a bunch of gnolls.
Yeah. Now they also put a crew on this ship
Right.
involving such people as Toastacre Grundleplinth III.
That one. Yeah.
and the Dwarfson.
the dwarf.
And
Pregnant.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
That came...
Pregnant likes to work on the boat.
It reminds me. I think Quinn
wait till we
needs
put
to
pregnant
send
out
a telegram to Captain Stinky Beef. Is that his name?
Stinky Von Ratlin
Stinky
Beef
Van-
the second.
Right.
Also present in our first recap.
Stinky.
He might be a person for the party to find if you need someone to fly an airship.
That's a good point. Captain
point.
Stinky can do it.
Yeah. Like, I feel at some point you may want to crew an airship if you ever have a working one.
Right. From there, you guys spent a lengthy amount of time, Tamasha here.
oh yeah, it was like a 20 episode arc.
I mean,
Half of which I don't even remember.
so much so that because like
why I take
that
notes.
arc happened right when James had a baby, and Mike had to go back to school. So like
Pulling
we
the
were
curtain back. That's why we wasted so much time there.
We couldn't leave
However, we got some solid gold, I think,
Oh,
out
yeah.
of that region.
That's where we met Joseph the Just.
Yeah, or just Joseph.
Just
yet.
Joseph.
Joseph.
Depending on when you knew him,
Yeah.
right? That's where Jarrell was able to procure his sword after we avenged him and killed the necromancer, aka Zahir Lareshi, aka fake city guard that somehow we couldn't figure out he wasn't actually working for the city at all.
Wait, were you saying that some people call him just Joseph, or some people call him just Joseph?
Just
Just Joseph.
Joseph.
Get it? I hope that's more
no,
clear.
It's crystal
that-
clear. I got it.
It's about as clear as mud.
Zahir got cut in half.
Yeah, Zahir got cut in half
I wrote that down.
by Jarrell.
And then we talked to his dead body.
Right. Then I taught you
Speak with dead.
Yep.
Yeah, before he opened like a torrent of like portals and undead started spilling out, so we had to collapse like this tower
Right.
behind him essentially.
Then we found. Then we were looking for the.
Yeah.
Orbs.
Collapse this tower, which I believe was Joseph the Just's tower.
Yeah, well, he wasn't using it anymore. That arc actually, it's funny that we actually just kind of make another note. 3 of us DM'd during that.
Yeah.
Me, Dave, and Mike
Yeah.
Yep.
all DM'd in that area and region. Because in an effort to, I don't know, lighten things up a bit, I remember running a module right after you guys destroyed that gem with, for Igor's Challenge.
Yes.
Which introduced probably my most favorite magical item to date. And I still got to thank, there's author DM because he had submitted that to the DMs Guild. And like was like, yo, dude, please use this. So thank you again. It was so fun to like adapt that to the story because the bauble, the splendiferous bauble that Hoblet won
From Igor's
did.
challenge.
beat out Testicles for that.
Testicles.
Testicles.
While the rest of you hung out in the loser's room.
We had pizza and cake, and he was in there too. So
Paradome,
Also,
Paradome
I just-
was never
before we
placed
go
in the
too much
loser's
further,
room.
Yeah.
On our way to Igor's, if my notes are right, didn't we get camels?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no, the
and
camel,
Hammond
the
Jr.
So
camel stew.
that by far still remains to be one of my most favorite episodes that we've ever done. That was the one that you joined us
I
on.
think that was my inception. Yeah.
Episode,
That was that was the
episode-
first one I think I
Episode
laughed.
44.
Let's Wreck.
Let's Wreck is when Massimo, aka Gorgeous Mort, joined us.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we
I
killed
didn't know
Camel.
really what I was getting myself into, and
You killed
yeah,
it.
We came in.
It
I
was
remember
fantastic.
listening to that because that was when I took my hiatus, and I remember listening to that episode, and I just went, "God damn it! Like, why did I have to leave now?"
I
I
That
want to
was
butcher
funny.
a camel.
Because you had to prepare to teach the youth of America.
yeah.
Sucker.
Wait till they listen to this podcast.
They're the suckers. They have me as a teacher.
But anyways, I thought paying Herman and Herman Jr. homage.
Yeah, and let's not forget the reason that Herman died.
Didn't you?
Crush him with
crushed-
Manservant.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did.
Yes.
You tried to put
invited
manservant on,
manservant on the camel, it
or did
collapsed.
I do that?
No, that was
Okay.
Hoblet.
No. Hoblet
Mistakes
got
were
the camel
made.
killed.
Camels
And
were
then,
killed.
because the whole stew thing was still in play at the time, I remember Zach, getting real, just get his butchering stuff out like immediately.
No real camels were injured in the taping of this.
No, none.
podcast.
We
Literally
stayed at the
none.
Drunken Albatross.
Yeah, and it was pretty much just like a good fun like puzzle challenge where each of you guys are split up into different rooms. Some of you were in pairs, some of you were by yourselves.
Which we're terrible at, by the way, just to
Yeah.
clarify.
I don't know if this is what you officially called it or not, but I have written down Famous Igor's Survival Extravaganza of Magic.
I must have said something like that.
It sounds pretty right.
I don't actually remember because I'm getting older, I guess.
That's
I
why
don't remember
keep a
that
notebook.
either, but it sounds amazing.
But if I didn't write
So either
that,
I came up with that,
I
or
think you
came
did.
up with
No,
that.
I think that sounds like James' brain
Oh
candy
yeah,
right there.
For sure.
and for those of you who are wondering, that's in the notebook. That's one of our Patreon. We literally scanned your whole fucking notebook in there. I can't believe we did that. Anyway,
This shit's fucked up.
yeah, it's great. A plus. So after we finally wrapped up business at Tamashahir, you guys learned that what? Oh shit, Imperator Titus is dead. Wait, gasp! Oh man, who's that? Oh yeah, that's right. It was the Imperator of Tarantus. It's a
Yeah.
gigantic city that we've been,
That I gave you the invitation to his coronation months before he died.
and in real life, like a fucking year and a half ago.
Yeah.
That was like episode 9 or 10.
And meanwhile,
11.
the guy who has the letter is trying to learn how to teach the youth of America.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I planted this way back because a few summers ago, what was it? I read Devil in the White City and decided that I just absolutely had to have a few things happen a few years down the way. And it was initially...
Easter egg.
Yeah. We needed H.H. Holmes. And I wanted...
Yeah, for those of you who actually couldn't figure out who Dr. M.M. Mudgett was for the full play series, or when we dropped it before the heist a while back, spoiler alert.
H.H. Holmes.
You should
Yeah.
figure, yeah.
So we had that, and
It's
I
based
wanted...
on H.H. Holmes?
Yeah.
Yes, based
M-
on
M.
H.H.
Mudgett.
Holmes, and the other historical event I wanted to play was the assassination of Carter Harrison, the mayor, which became Harris Carter, the mayor of Tarantus,
Right.
and totally turned into something else.
Right.
Yeah, that was.
Yep.
So
Clever.
somewhere in here in the Imperator Titus, we must have had a ridiculous night, because Hoblet also made a note that says, "Sir ships a lot, sure ships a lot." It's a shipping ship. So we must have gone.
You wrote all of that
There's
down.
got to be some buried audio in there somewhere of us just going off on shipping something, because Sir ships a lot, sure ships a lot.
We'll come back to you in a little bit. And then we got back to the.
God.
You guys got back to the mainland, and then you decided to search for the other ship in the closest place to the harbor you found in High Rock.
Yeah.
I'm just.
We're admiring his
He's laughing.
pictures.
Mike is laughing because
I missed
I'm
a lot
reading
of
through
this.
Hoblet's notebook. So I'm just like, after I get to the
Actually, that's the perfect place to get
we
to.
just finished this page.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Then I turn the page and there appears to be like a dead horse or something drawn on the next page, and Mike just sees it and just starts laughing.
So if anything, Patreon sponsors who have access to this notebook, I think there's a couple of you.
Yeah.
Hope you're following along.
That was the.
Right.
Oh my god.
This is when everyone goes back and actually buys the.
Yeah, right.
Gets the.
So just as we're keeping score here, so the Orb and Crystal one were in the Sinister Sanctuary.
Yes.
So the second crystal we got from the collapsing tower in Tamashahir.
Yes.
We're on our way, now that we've got the Splendiferous Bauble, we're on our way to the third crystal, which is in, drumroll,
The forest.
Forest Heart.
The Forest Heart, Evandrin. And the thing is, the closest place for you to dock your ship is in High Rock, where, if you guys recall from our first episode, there is someone there who's not a particularly big fan of most of you.
Yeah.
But we did find out.
a little enemy there.
Yeah, just a little bit, Shelley from High Rock.
We had some hijinks in High Rock.
Shelley from just outside High Rock.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Shelly from around the block in High Rock.
Who actually happened to be a big fan of Jarrell, though, because this is where Jarrell grew up and learned how to be the holy person and paladin he is today, trying to steer you all onto the path of righteousness while you slowly corrupt him from the inside out.
Correct.
And this is
You
where,
are the only reason that we got through that excursion.
Just that one?
Okay. Good
And
point.
that second High Rock excursion is where Mort got arrested for desecrating an ogre head.
Yeah, the first time. Yeah.
Got it.
The first time, at least in our presence, that he was arrested.
Cool.
Of course,
Yes.
prior to that, we had an epic. Well, first we killed a wyvern.
No,
which-
that's right after this.
Right.
So you guys picked up horses where, James obviously
Herman the Third.
got Herman the Third. It's very important. Felix got a pony.
Isn't this where Quinn ran his face into a butt? And then
no,
That
that
was
was
Hoblet.
Hoblet.
that was Hoblet.
No.
I was there for that.
would
But
do?
Yeah.
Yes,
But something that-
Hoblet ran his face into an ass because James needed to be away for a baby.
And then what was the disease that you
E-Troli.
contracted? E-Troli.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I should kind of go back and mention one more thing that when Hoblet came back, we did do a special episode with him and Jarrell's retainers where he literally put a dude's face into a pizza oven in the middle of an orphanage.
Yeah. I'd been
However,
away for
the
a
Kids
while.
loved it.
The kids loved it.
Hoblet hadn't smashed, and it worked.
He's not wrong.
he's not wrong.
I hate that he's so
So-
right. But anyways, just quickly distracting there. But something that Quinn did do when we made it into the forest was after going to a town where we learned that we were supposed to keep things pretty hush-hush about, what we were searching for, because we noticed that, like there seemed to be some whisperings around town about a certain Borzon the Black Drake, who sounded pretty mean and dangerous and awful. He decides to just stand up and self-aggrandize in the middle of a town saying he's going to save them, and they shoot us out. After we accidentally blew up the front facade of a building that Felix may or may not have something to do with.
Yeah, I
but-
kind of blame Felix on a little bit of that.
But listen, my charm persons will never fail anymore. And by never, I mean they are less likely to fail with the DC that I got now.
But I
Which
feel like
means
Quinn
when
was
Hapless heroes, we
finally
roll once and he flunks all the time.
Quinn was finally coming into his own as kind of he was stepping up as leader. I mean, Felix was doing an okay job, but had kind of flubbed up a couple of times. And I felt like, Quinn needed to just step up and be the leader that the group didn't have. And just let his ego run a little amok,
and
that's
him,
okay.
Yeah, and then got him, into a plot coma. So
I mean, it
I
was
can't even blame you
it
for
was
that.
a great way for me to go learn how to teach the youth of America. So it was great.
Yeah, but I can't even blame Quinn for getting stung by a wyvern. I can only blame the circumstances.
And you know what? Quinn is just thankful that he has such amazing friends. And he leads such an amazing group of people that would
He's really
save
laying it on
his
thick.
life to
Just-
make sure that he comes back in full health.
Just really,
Of course.
really laying it on thick.
Right. Mike's true
To
personality
then
shows.
save you from the ridiculousness of Gorgeous Mort.
Mike, I thought we agreed.
Later.
I thought we were agreed that we were going to do this out of character tonight.
Oh,
In fact, he's just like that all the time.
I get so excited.
I thought we were friends in real life.
Oh yeah, we are.
Okay, good. Just making
I'm
sure.
I'm talking
because
about Quinn.
because the energy, the tension,
Whoa.
the seething that I'm sort of feeling coming from you.
There's no
doesn't-
seething.
Just
I'm very happy that
there's it's palpable, Mike.
I mean, okay. Can I just say he wasn't wrong with anything that he said.
I mean,
However, since you had to go teach the youth of America, I did take it upon myself to build, obviously, the best plan ever made, the mega plan.
What?
Only
you
you.
built it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. We're doing this out of character tonight.
And
we, as a group, completed together.
That's right.
but Quinn still doesn't believe that actually happened.
Oh, that was real.
I was there.
To get the third
Everyone else
gem, the
was there.
party essentially played through the plot of the Seven Samurai. Because I was lazy and decided to just rip off a movie instead of writing an original plot.
with a little Home Alone slathered in there.
Right. John got to make a giant swinging log, and he was pretty much set. Like,
Yeah.
That was
And we had a poison bake sale.
The bake sale
That was
was
my favorite
really
sale.
the best part
And
about
that
it.
was my idea.
That was a
Yeah,
great
Thank you
idea.
very much.
It was a great
killed
idea.
the most people.
Yeah. I won. So I won. The
We
big-
locked people.
You're not Hondo at all.
We locked people in a barn and then burned it down.
Yeah.
Well,
When they opened the door to the
la
barn,
Al-Qaeda.
they got smashed by a log and then burned to death.
then they fell into spike traps.
and then they
they
forgot about this.
we really Home Aloned like that whole little like the little village.
I feel like that was the moment that Hoblet matured.
Yeah, because he also I remember
He
at
was
that
like, "What the
point.
fuck?"
At that point, and I think you ripped that page out, James. But there was a page that said, "Go easy on Felix."
And I think Mort was naked that entire time. I think I was wearing a fig leaf in a
I
tower
do
that we
recall
built.
writing that.
Yeah.
Can I just say my favorite part of the mega plan was when Felix cast fly on himself and pretended to climb a digitized ladder?
Yeah.
Because I
here it
love
is.
imagining that. Because
Yeah.
I imagine it just like looks really fake, and he kind of has a shit-eating grin on his face, pulling
Really-
off this master illusion.
So just so you know, it did not get ripped out. However, we had to accomplish a couple things. Because is this when we were fighting Borzon?
Yes.
Okay. So after all of this,
Right. We fought a
I've
fucking
got-
dragon.
Borzon has the Elder and a sword to his throat.
Oh yeah, he killed that elder.
Then it says
Ate him. Yeah.
we dropped 38 of 40 ass hats. So I don't know what that means.
That was the
mega plan.
onslaught in the village.
Apparently, this guy right here, number 8,
Yeah.
he got running away.
Yeah.
you smashed his head.
He tried to run away.
You smashed his
But then at the
head.
very end of all of that, it says ease up on Felix.
Did you go crazy?
No,
Oh, he just
I helped.
yeah, and it worked. Like we killed a lot of people, and he let Felix ran in. Then there was a swinging log,
Yeah,
pit
yeah.
traps. We burned it down. Like a lot of this was right in Hoblet's wheelhouse. So like
So that's when Hoblet became extremely afraid of Felix.
that's when Hoblet knew that Felix was a ride or die bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
That was the sound of me winking.
Right on. So yeah,
And then after we defeated Borzon the Black Drake, we obviously it's a fucking dragon. We found its lair. We looted the shit out of it and got some really cool stuff. Peridot got some awesome gauntlets of ogre power. We kind of distributed loot to just pretty much anyone who took part in that.
I'm
we
a buff
we
boy
did save
right
some
now.
gold for Quinn
Yay.
because we sold some stuff from the Wyvern too and things like that. To make sure that his loss was not a total loss.
I think I tried to sell the ogre head, and that's when I smashed it.
Yeah, so at that point we got back to High Rock, right, to get all of our things back, and we celebrated our victory, had a run-in with Shalandria, and thankfully Jarrell was able to talk us out of a terrible situation. However, yeah, no, I know, I can't say I wasn't at all to blame. I gave Hoplet the idea to smash that door. So
To be fair, it was one door. That
was
was
just
quite an
one door.
overreaction to have the whole town chased you out with pitchforks.
was like a holy
you
door,
broke
though.
one door.
That was
It was like the door to the temple.
Like
There's a difference between a random door in the middle of Rome and a door in the Sistine Chapel.
What I'm saying is that town was a
That's a good
little
point.
high strung. A little high strung. For
That was
for
one of my
kind
favorite
reaction.
scenes.
which explains a lot about Jarrell.
Right.
It made me think of like Hanna-Barbera, like the runaround, like where like the scene in the
Right.
back is the
Yeah.
same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But they're running forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's what that means.
At least we were able to redeem ourselves for the most part. However, Mort made a terrible first impression.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually especially funny because your character has such high charisma.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can talk people into doing stuff, but I can also talk myself out of like pretty much.
I feel like it's because of his lack of intelligence. He needs to have.
Hold on. I really like the way that he put that, in that I can talk a lot of people into stuff, but I can also talk myself out of a lot of stuff.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll just go for anything. If I'm feeling it and
We
he's
know.
feeling it,
So he's-
I'm going for it.
While he's here fiddling with his dice, he's actually just rolling persuasion on himself.
Constantly.
That's for all the times I have to cut out you dropping your dice tower.
That's true. I do it all the time. I'm such a fidgeter.
I'm always like, that's gonna fall. That's gonna fall. Fred's gonna be pissed.
I should take a video of that shoddy look you throw over to me every time it falls over.
I do love you, though.
Yeah,
I'm obligated to love you.
Fran does throw some amazing
real
shade, though.
shade. Real shade. And it comes out in the recording usually.
The only shade a brother can throw. I really don't mean it, and I really hope that it doesn't sound like I'm taking my anger out on anybody here. But I really
No,
Yeah.
never.
Not even
No.
once
Yeah.
have we
Yes,
all
all the
thought
time.
that you've been irate with
Ever,
us.
I don't
ever,
ever do that.
Never.
never,
Not even once.
Definitely not.
No,
Not even once. Just like meth.
Definitely not every episode. Right?
no.
It's not like we try to come up with new and interesting ways to harass whoever's DMing at the time.
Or
'cause
whoever's not.
Okay, so much like any supportive group of men who are friends, we pretty much spend all of our time trying to find ways to, get on each other just a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah, just enough.
It's a good sport.
It's flavorful, yeah.
Just enough. It's never. It
If
never
we can
cuts
make the
deep
vein
enough.
pop out in your forehead, that's good.
We all
If
keep
it
coming
stays
back.
popped out,
Well,
that's how we know we've gone too
I'll tell you what made a vein pop out of my forehead was the fucking cudgel. Which brings us to the next gem,
Yes.
The cudgel.
where I tried for the first time in a while to actually prepare some semblance of an adventure
Oh yeah, no, it's not
with
not gonna
characters, rich lore, background. I wrote
They fucked it up, didn't they?
I wrote lore about everything. This was right before you got
Yeah,
back.
I wasn't back
This
yet.
was right before you got
We
back.
were just in a mood for that whole arc.
Something stuck on a
I was
cudgel
trying
and
to
all the ways you can
explain
take it.
some background stuff to introduce the concept of how there's also the higher powers that play within the gods.
We bickered through all of it.
Every part
And
of it.
the only thing that you guys could focus on was Saint Cuthbert the Cudgel.
That's on you for naming him Saint Cuthbert the Cudgel.
Saint Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right.
Sexy.
When you introduce the name Cudgel into
I
anything,
did not write that.
I'm just saying.
That is just straight up lore from like established D&D things.
Okay.
That you had to pick. and couldn't
Whoever
rename.
wrote that, that's on you.
You can't present us with that pretty a bow and not expect us to pluck it.
Oh yeah, just rip
So
it apart.
now it makes sense why when I came back, there was so much angst.
Yeah, and so many NPCs named like Bob.
There was that one guy named I don't know, fuck it.
Which is also why we have a name bucket.
Yeah. Haven't reached in there. nowadays.
Ooh,
Lame.
slick.
That was lame.
Because previously, we went from Toastacre Grundleplinth III to the Dwarf Dorfson in 20 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Although I will say that Half Tom Fegan is one of the greatest names I've heard for a character.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know.
He'll be around tonight.
He's like my spirit animal.
yeah,
Yeah.
he does well. Surprised he's been alive as long as he has.
But anyways, that's jumping forward a lot. So you guys got to Last Wall, learned all about all that, where the runners were born, like how everything is sort of structured there. You have the Crow King, you have his super elite legion of guards, plus like people and armies from all over the continent, like taking part in the defense of this sort of bastion of humanity.
Hey, another little behind the robe here. Right when we got there, for some reason, whoever was DMing wouldn't let me send a hooker to Felix and Jarrell. Just so
Yeah,
you know,
I
that was
actually-
who
that
was gonna
was.
happen.
So I noticed that because
that was a thing that was going to
because
happen,
I
but it
remember-
got crossed out in my notebook because you wouldn't let me do it.
I remember when you passed him the notebook, and then I remember hearing in the recording too when I was editing it, where he's like, "No, I don't think this isn't really the kind of place you could do that." And I was like, "Do what?" And then we just never addressed it.
Yeah.
And so when I was scanning that in to put onto Patreon, I saw that I was like, "Send hooker to Felix." When did this happen?
It never happened.
Right, and I saw it crossed
Because
out.
I couldn't get a hooker in High
asshole.
Rock or wherever we were.
So this
Something's happening.
So this is where we talked about like the portent and you guys searching for this thing. You guys ended up like.
Oh, this was Big Sig in Capitao Delta.
Yep.
Yeah, you ran into some mercenary companies.
Don't fuck about it. The guards shut down Big Sig.
You found the gem actually with people who, for the first time in this whole time, were not necromancers, but rather a pair of a Goliath and a Kenku.
Wonder how they're doing.
Grigri and Tiddlywonk, who
Yeah.
Grigri, you didn't even learn
Grigri.
his fucking name because you were bickering so much until like the end of in fact, until Mike came back when Dave was DMing.
Mort knew his name the whole time, though.
Yeah, except
Was it
for
I
Mort.
that asked? I can't remember. I remember that being a thing when I walked in, but I don't remember exactly why it was.
Yeah,
such a
you
thing.
asked his name.
I was just like, "What's his name?"
Yeah, we asked
and
what's
nobody
your
knew.
Right.
And so Dave, I had to actually figure it out.
Dave actually had to ask me.
I had to ask several times because I was told Grigori's name at least twice that I completely brain dumped and forgot.
Yeah. It's GRI for anyone listening.
Grigri.
Yeah.
Grigri.
Grigri.
Oh, I thought it was Grigory.
Brabra. It's Brabra.
It was the point.
Grigri.
Right, that's what I was going for was that, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Any hoozle. So you managed to get the gem from them, plus also save humanity for the time being, at the cost of a bunch of gods dying. Right. That you think might be, connected to this, but no one really. I mean, Valen kind of might have confirmed that when she came to the Earth. Valen is obviously this new deity that's sort of, she's new in town, kind of been around since Little After the Fall upheaval. She got like kind of real famous and ascended to godhood, as people say, because she just disappeared one day and now all of a sudden she's a goddess,
What was she before?
a person,
Not a goddess.
just human.
She was plucking daisies in a field one day.
I'm sure Jarell could tell us more at some point.
Yeah. Sure.
But she came to you guys and told you about this sort of dire situation where like these gods are dying off and Vecna's killing them and they're trying to drive him back, and it's like even like it's just this massive like kind of chaotic crap going on in the heavens, and you can't help but think that it may or may not be tied to what's happening in the Crucible lands. At least at that point. What are you laughing at?
Just my stupidity.
But those feelings were soon, I guess, corroborated when you guys finally traveled to Tarantus, the last arc that we had, where Dave kind of took us through, and we almost forgot about the gem for a little bit because we realized, oh shit, we have a coronation to get to.
Yeah.
And a murder house to
Yeah.
survive.
Right.
A murder castle that I've been teasing myself with for over 2 years at that point.
Right.
man.
And a whorehouse we spent way too long trying to find.
Yeah, that was.
I'll be honest with you. We like
Because
you
it's,
really like convinced me to like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to go to this whorehouse.
And that's where these. Yeah.
I think it's where you can see a pattern where I draw a definitive line at sex workers in game. We're not sending hookers to people's rooms.
Because,
we're
dear
not
God,
going to a whorehouse.
like,
Performance
let's just
role.
yada, yada, yada. I mean, the Cougars were a different story
Yeah,
because that had comedic value.
it did.
Mm-hmm. Was that when the tower was falling?
That was when you were in the train on our way to Tarantus the first time for the heist. Right. Yeah. Anyways, so we ended
I
up
think
there.
you should be less uptight about sex workers.
Let's just say Quinn has dabbled.
Dear God.
Help us all.
So we survived this murder hotel that Dave so lovingly crafted based on H.H. Holmes. And found out the whole plot with the mayor that was sort of established in the full play with the time jumping and the parallel stories. And
I established two things in the full play, that and the dome bubble itself. Because the same principles were used in the bubble that Tarantus was absorbed in and then removed from play.
I see.
Yeah, it was purple.
I didn't even know that.
I was going to set that up in questions to Melvin.
So I caught that part. Anyways. So, I mean, that's kind of where we find ourselves now with like surviving this thing. And now we're in an airship careening into the air, like, and probably back down to the earth. Trying to seeing what happens next. Like, this does not look like a good situation. The wings are gone. There's no thing this is going to fly, and who knows how the crash landing is going to happen. But that's what I'm going to handle.
Yeah.
The next time we meet on Hapless Heroes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're as
right
mixed
now-
up as a Scandinavian mud flap designer.
Girl, you more mixed up than a milkshake.
But speaking of weird metaphors like that,
It's
really
a simile.
where the party is essentially a glorified commercial break for a Dukes of Hazzard episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much, actually.
Those Hokar boys are going to get themselves in a real mess this time.
Like we're in freeze frame moment right
Yes.
now. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly where I want it to be coming
And
out
like
of.
the narrator just comes in with
Right.
like a super calm voice and is just like, well, I don't know what's gonna happen to them, but
Right. Everyone.
Like John just did. Like just now.
Yeah,
Why is everybody talking?
there's a lot of
like
people here at the table. Okay, shut.
we all want to be part of the fun, man.
I see you, John. And yeah, I like that we're using this as just a shameless way to have John DM this really fun, like Halloween themed monster party.
Which by the time you hear this will have already fully aired, but tonight we are
Hope you
actually
enjoyed
still
the ending.
recording because we even don't know how that's going to end, which is why we've only recapped you on we played these characters.
Right.
Yes.
Well, with that, I think, that's kind of where we're at. I really hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far, if you've been with us for a while, or if you're new to the show, like, have not been turned off by all of our meaningless babble and banter.
Yeah, if you're still here,
Because
awesome.
this is pretty much what you're signing up for anyways.
Right. Yeah, sometimes I wonder why people listen to this in general.
True. And I remember how cool we are.
We really are cool.
Yeah, really just killing it on all fronts tonight. And every night.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you like us, you can find us on the internet. I'm not going to do the whole crazy outro tonight, but we'll still do it if you really, really love us. Just because, like, it's just a recap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you like us, you can find us on the internet. Interact with us. We have a Discord server. You can find it on our Twitter. It's at Hapless Heroes, or other places, our subreddit / Hapless Heroes podcast. But, just hit us up. Even if you want to email us, haplessheroes@gmail.com. Like, we're there on the internet in all the ways you can find us. It's pretty cool.
TLDR, hang out with us on our Discord.
And I won't go through the whole spiel and bore you guys, so I'm just going to say that I think Zach has something very special to say. It's something special to say almost at the end of every episode.
This one's bad, man.
Do it.
If you really, really like us,
Oh, God.
Hold on to your butts.
make a Jello mold in the shape of a baby and fill it with red Jello chicken bones and an ad for our show. Just like a little strip of paper. Nothing to distract from the Jello and the chicken bones. And, maybe paint the outside in matte pink paint and dress it up and throw it off the top of a building.
That's so evil.
That's awful.
Then, you know,
That's my favorite one yet.
Oh my
the
god.
paramedics
That's
and
made
the
it.
policemen and women and people will, you know, be picking through the just dire remains of this supposed baby, but
Hey, and listen, if
they'll
that's-
come to the realization
The
that
most
no, this was
offensive
not
part
a
of that is
murder.
that you said Jell-O mold.
if
instead
you're
of
listening
Jell-O.
to this from the future and this is how you found our show,
Yeah.
We're sorry.
welcome.
Thanks for
I
listening.
mean, y'all,
Oh, we
you know,
got you with the old baby off the building stunt.
I mean, it was a fruit-flavored baby.
And we had nothing to do with it. We merely jokingly suggested it on our show. Whoever did that was a sick, sick person.
Zach.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I might do this one
So,
myself.
tune in next week when I take back over to DM and do some fun things with these individuals as their characters, and maybe, you know, in person. And yeah, we'll see you next time. I love you.
Bye now.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.